Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today I want to talk about Warhammer the Old World one last time, at least for now, as, well, the recent news has made me very hyped up. And some rumours which came out fairly recently kind of made me really hyped up. So we're going to have to talk about this, as I really do think that Warhammer the Old World is going to be released next year, 2023. So let's not waste any more time and jump right in. So we're back on the article, and the first thing we're going to discuss is a little part here from Andy Hoare, which is one of the writers taking part in the whole Old World thing. So it's been quite a while since our last update, but that's how you know we've been extra busy. Our miniatures designers, painters, writers, illustrators, and graphic designers have all been engaged in a period of industrious activity, getting new miniatures designed and the main rulebook written, play-tested, lavishly illustrated, and laid out. This is truly a gargantuan project with lots to show off, but for now we want to give a glimpse of some of the amazing artwork the Warhammer the Old World team's illustrators have been producing. Okay, so this is something really big here, right? So, first up, we are aware now that stuff has been playtested, rules are written, stuff is getting illustrated, and the book is getting laid out. This is most likely for the main rulebook and possibly army books, considering that we have a lot of artwork that we can discuss too. We've also discussed it already, but there's a different thing here, right? So, miniatures designers, they're painters. Painters are getting stuff sorted, right? This is not a graphic, this is a painter. This means that they're working on miniatures, which is going to kind of fill out with one of the rumors that came out a few months ago, but let's continue, right? This means that they're kind of far ahead, and more than likely we'll start to see rules rumors or actual rule showcases around next year. There's also another reason to believe that, but yeah, this is quite exciting because they're basically just saying the rulebook in terms of content is done. Now it's getting illustrated. With the fact that it's just being playtested too, that means, you know, things are going to change around, but more than likely they've got like the main basis, or at least the big skeleton of it, sorted. The section here with the new art is really interesting because this is going to lead up to the rumors section of this video. So, the world of Warhammer has always been blessed with the most lavish of artwork. But that's no excuse not to create more. The studio illustrators have been hard at work rendering classic and new miniatures into full color artwork. A key part of this process has been to identify exactly the correct look and feel for these new pieces, capturing just the right level of gritty, myth-inspired classic fantasy that much of this beloved setting encapsulates. Okay, so yeah, new miniatures. Cool. And we all kind of expected that anyway because they confirmed that a while ago. But there's a big thing that we're missing there. Classic miniatures. Classic. This is really exciting because this means older stuff. And the weird thing is that we do have something really interesting in terms of rumors. We're going to discuss that. This is from someone called Hastings, which apparently is very well known in the rumor circuit. So we're going to talk about this. So first up is the rumor from 5 months ago where he's replying in some forum. I don't know exactly what forum this is, but it's been floating about a lot lately on loads of different groups that I'm in. So this is in reference to older Rangers, right? Rangers coming back. Let's just read it over. Owning these two Rangers, as far as I understand, because many people mourn their loss from the new setting. This is Tomb Kings and Bretonnia. And GW can make a quick buck off the nostalgia hype and have zero dev cost to put into getting them in production again. As far as I understand, a large part of the old world stuff will be resin, and it's expanded with another comment there, which is it's the plastic kits that were previously available for Bretonnias and Tomb Kings, so Men-at-Arms and Bowmen will be there. So, this is something quite interesting, right? Because, essentially, this means that Games Workshop are probably just lighting up the forges and getting up the Bretonnians and Tomb Kings again, which the Tomb Kings did age quite well. The skeletons really didn't, but everything for the big monsters, yeah, that's fine. And the Bretonnians did age really well, in all honesty. There's a few things that could be changed, but if they're going for a classic Warhammer Fantasy look, the Bretonnians are perfectly fine. And this kind of makes sense. Games Workshop have been bringing back classic miniatures, especially for the Lord of the Rings games. It's just not like a made-to-order basis. It's literally, it's coming back to the range. So if stuff is returning for the whole Middle-earth strategy battle game, it's very possible they could go, okay, look, these models aged really, really well. Let's bring these back because it's going to be a while until we start creating new miniatures. We might as well just have these old ones out, as that will really make some quick money, and it would, let's be honest. Now again, this is just rumors, take everything that Hastings says with a pinch of salt, but my understanding is that he or she has been quite reliable in the past. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh my god, resin, and that's a very, very good thing to complain about. But keep in mind that these things could have changed because these rumors were like 5 months ago, more or less. And it's very likely what could happen is very much what's happening with the Horus Heresy, where there's a lot of plastic coming into effect. Some stuff is staying resin, but you never know for the future, and that could easily be here. If Old World does well, they might shift a lot more stuff into plastic rather than resin, and keep characters in resin, because that's what they're doing for Horus Heresy, which, you know, is fine. I really don't like the idea of using named characters anyway, unless the rules have obviously changed. But in most cases, unless you were playing fluffy games or really big armies, there was no reason to bring a named character because you could just make your own and it was just generally better. The second thing with this rumor is that this is fairly recent too. So yeah, I reported this here several months ago. The old Brett and Tomb King plastic kits went back into production so they could get fancy new paint jobs for the photography for the book. Again, kind of linking up to what more or less has been said in the official Games Workshop statement. Then, I wasn't aware at the time that a lot of the Orcs and Goblin plastics also went back into production just recently, including the Boar Boys for the same reason. Not to say that they aren't getting new kits, also just don't expect too much plastic. So what's being referenced here is the fact that a lot of new artwork has just recently come out, and that's focusing on stuff that's missing, right? So the Bretonnian stuff, the Tomb King stuff, the Boar Boys, all of these models are no longer available and haven't been available for a while. The Boar Boy thing was actually the most surprising because it looks like the old school miniature. So this, to me, just looks like box art. It literally just looks like box art. And I'm really excited about this because if they're just going to bring back a bunch of classic miniatures and just bring back, you know, all the stuff that was taken out, that maybe the cast is still workable, then a lot of people are going to be able to buy into the game very early if they just release the core rulebook and an index, and there you go. This would probably be one of the few times that Games Workshop are actually making an intelligent decision. Just bring everything back, yes, even the old stuff, and then in the future update the miniatures. And obviously there's stuff that needs to be updated anyway, but you know what I mean. This allows for people to enjoy the game. This allows for people to just finish up their armies and just have some fun. It would be a great way just to say, okay, look, the Wood Elves that you guys miss, or the High Elves, even the Dark Elves, those miniatures which were still there in Age of Sigmar would just come back and just be purchasable so you could finish up your armies. This would also be something that you need to take into account. I know a lot of people are saying, well, a lot of more models need to come out, but people seem to forget that a large portion of the Age of Sigmar range is actually Warhammer Fantasy. The Skaven, the Lizardmen, a lot of the stuff still available for the Vampire counts. Hell, if you go into the whole Cities of Sigmar, that's all Warhammer Fantasy, and yes, that's going to be replaced, but those casts are still available. So when the new Cities of Sigmar stuff comes out, unless that stuff is also usable in Old World, which there are a few theories about that, you already have the armies, you already have them there. And lastly, it's this whole thing about checking back for more info throughout 2023. It's not saying more info in 2023, it's saying throughout, which is the 40th anniversary of our beloved game Warhammer Fantasy. It's a big year, So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that news might stop now for the rest of the year, which is perfectly fine because we are in October, and then we'll start to get info in January, February, March. Eventually a trailer will drop because that kind of makes sense. It's very similar to what happened with the whole thing of, you know, Horus Heresy. And then a few months later, you know, maybe during Warhammer Day, boom, pre-order day. Get yourselves this in the 40th anniversary. Get yourself the rulebook, see a bunch of miniatures come back, and boom. I could be wrong, but it's feeling like it's going to be next year. They're even reposting their comments and their stuff a lot on Twitter today, which is really weird, and throughout the whole weekend. It's something that they generally don't do with Old World. They just kind of like post and then, yeah, ignore it. I'm feeling very hopeful. I'm feeling very excited for this once again, and I just feel like it's going to be time. I don't know, we're going to have to wait and see, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start a bit of a discussion. And for those in the Total War circuit asking why Warhammer the Old World should be important to you, well, when new miniatures come out, new factions, that means that those things could basically be DLC for you. I know it's not as exciting for you as it is for me because I just missed the tabletop, but this is potentially big for everyone. It benefits everyone. Anyways, with all that being said, you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.